So this is going to be a quick video, or maybe not as far as quick is concerned, but basically how to use the buffs. So first of all, what is a buff? Some of you already know. However, when I first started playing this game, I didn't even know what a buff was. So a simple way to put it, and it's the way I view it, it's just it's something that is given to us, or that we have temporarily or permanently, it just depends, that enhances or something else that we have, whether it's power, strength, or it may reduce time or increase time depending upon if it's advantageous. So basically a buff is just something that we can acquire temporarily or permanently that enhances something that we need in the game. So the best way to first get to the buff is you just hit your picture and you go to the server number, and boom, you have there all your buffs. Now if you want to read the rules on the buffs, hit the information button, top right, the I, and it'll break down exactly how the rules work. Now, there's different types of buffs. First, the first lady is the one who's in charge of distributing how that works, is the first distributing the buffs. And so I'm going to show you how to ask for it, and then what will end up happening is you'll see how it actually works. So the first one is Secretary of Strategy. Most people don't use this one. This one, all it does is heal the troops that are inside, that are so if you get attacked and they're in the hospital, it just speeds up the healing process. Now, these numbers can be kind of deceptive. I haven't really understood how to run the numbers, but when it says unit healing rate plus 20%, or any of the numbers that are plus, it's usually off what it was the original, not including all the buffs you have too. So, I mean, sorry, it takes what the original was, takes all your buffs down. So if all your buffs brought something from 100 to 60%, then it says 20%, you get 20% of like the 60%, which would be 12, and it reduces it more. It's just some weird math that it has. But the point is it makes things faster. In fact, I'll show you how fast something can be. On my others account, I was going from 29 to 30. So if you look right here, it says original time was 101 days to get to 30, but because of the buffs and all the stuff I had, the upgrade time is 53 days. Now that's without asking for the First Lady construction buff. Then when I asked for the First Lady construction buff, as soon as I pushed enter to get everything going and I pushed upgrade, it immediately went down to 42 days. So I went from 53 days to 42 days. Now, here's what makes it even more fun. When the people start hitting the help button, what it ended up doing was bringing me down another 3 days. So then my total time became 38 days. All right. Now that's an extreme case. A lot of stuff, you're not going to have 52 days and all that stuff, just so you know. But this is how valuable this is. And I've been playing for 6 months now. I went the first 4 months not even knowing what a buff was. So I'm like, man, if I would have known that. So let's go over each one. So Secretary of Strategy is if you have troops in the hospital, and it'll heal them faster. But you actually have to have the buff first before you actually can actually start receiving the benefits of it. The next one is the Secretary of Security. This one is one that most people ask all the time. It's basically, I call it the training buff. And basically what happens is it helps your troops speed up the time to actually get healed up and to keep going. Now, if you notice, there's also a timer there. This will let you know how long the person has had it. The time is usually 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes in and out. Some of you may think, oh, that's not a lot of time. It's really a lot of time, because what happens is once you're assigned the buff, it's literally just, oh, I need to upgrade this, hit the button, upgrade, boom, and it'll change and you're done. So as soon as you have it, you upgrade what you want to upgrade. Just make sure you're organized whenever you do it. Not just, oh, I have it, so what do I do now? Because then that might be an issue when you finally think about it. The next one is going to be the Secretary of Development. I call it the construction buff. And the thing about Secretary of Development, it just makes what you saw here, the construction. Anything that you build, it reduces the time of it. Then you have the Secretary of Science, which that one is going to be for the Technology Center. And so you go right over here, you have the Technology Center. If I was to upgrade something, say, okay, good. So if I was to upgrade something, so right now it might be, I'm just throwing some out there, Garage 2. All right. So right now it takes 6 hours to do Garage 2. However, if I got the buff, it might only take like 5 hours. It's the percentage of whatever it is. And so you can look at those numbers. I'm still not an expert at the math part of it. So it says here though, construction speed plus 50%. And it's not like, oh, I have 50 here, 20 here, and I only have 30% left. It's The way the math works, like I said, it's more like, okay, the original would have been 101 days, but because of the buffs you already have, it goes down to 53 days. Then there's some math that's done, and I didn't get 50%. I got 50% of whatever number it was, and then it went down to 42 days. So it doesn't make any sense to me, the math on it, but just know things go by a whole lot quicker. Now, the next buff is going to be the Secretary of, already did that with Secretary of Science, and the Secretary of Interior. That's basically getting all of your resources. So if someone had the buff, you would have to restart everything from scratch once you get it, and then it'll just take everything you have and speed up your production time. Now, normally, this is reserved for whoever was the First Lady before, so you have to just ask for it, because, you know, the First Lady, and it can be a man also, because that's just the way it is. It's just a title. So if you have First Lady, this person here is distributing all the buffs. So as soon as they're done, normally what will happen is they'll have the Secretary of Interior buff until the next person jumps off of line or jumps online. So let's just say I want to get a buff real quick. It's very simple. You hit vacant. Once you hit vacant, you just hit apply, just like this. And then what will happen is you still want to remind the person. So you see whoever the person is in charge, you just close up here, hit head honcho. He's that, hit the picture, hit the three little buttons down there, and then I might go back and say, I would like to request the buff that I applied for. Thank you. Hit send, and it will alert them. Last time I was the First Lady, we didn't have this complete system set up, but everyone who's talked to me, then they told me that you don't get an announcement all the time of who's next, so it's good to kind of send it. Then they look into the system, or doesn't announce that someone applied, and you look to the system. So I have that on it, just like you said, head honcho, boom, always let them know. And then you're just going to sit there and wait right here. And then, oh, got it. You see the little emblem on the top here. And sometimes it'll come across the top. Now, if I had troops down being attacked, then they would heal up quicker. So this is the quick video. If you have any questions on like how things are supposed to work as far as the specifics on certain things, I've called the rules. You know, only commanders of HQ level of 16 can apply for position. Commanders can hold only one position at a time. This is the crucial one. Apply with caution. There's a 60-minute wait time between applications. So if I go back here and hit this one right here, and then my time runs out, I got to wait an hour to be able to apply for it again. So you just want to make sure that it goes from there. Now, it can go longer than 5 minutes. The system just doesn't stop it for 5 minutes, but there's a 5-minute cool period. So a lot of times it'll last longer until the next person. So no one's asked for the Secretary of Security yet to train their troops. So usually it just makes sense. They just keep it until, even though they're not using it, then they pass it on. And so that's just a recap. I will create another video on how to be the First Lady.